In the last lesson, we were able to get all of our concert tests passing, so now let's jump back up to the purchase tickets feature test and see what's left to do. First, let's run this cannot purchase more tickets than remain feature test and see what failure we're facing now. Okay, so we're expecting a 422, but we got back a 500. So we know that we can get more information about this failure by using our disable exception handling helper. So let's add that to the top of this test and run it again. So this disable exception handling and rerun the test. And now we are seeing a not enough tickets exception. Okay, so this is actually what we want. If we look back at our test, we're adding 50 tickets and then we're trying to purchase 51. So this should fail for that reason. So let's head over to our concert orders controller and see what we need to do to turn that exception into a 422 response. So if we take a look at our concert orders controller store method here, you can see that first we're charging the payment gateway, then we're trying to order tickets, and this is the step that's going to fail. This is going to throw that not enough tickets exception, and we want to catch that and turn that into a 422 response. So the easiest way to do that is to just add another catch block down here, and instead of catching a payment failed exception, we'll catch a not enough tickets exception and make sure that we import that class. And now if we head back to the test and run it again, hopefully we'll see a different result. So now we're getting a failure that we expected 102,000, but we got 0 on line 99 of our purchase tickets test. So let's check out what that is. So on line 99 here, we're asserting that the total charges for the payment gateway were 0, but they were actually coming back as 102,000, which is $1,020. So what this means is that even though there weren't enough tickets left to satisfy the customer's order, we still charged their card. So let's take a look at our concert orders controller and see how we might fix this. So we can see this is the cause of it right here. We're charging the customer right away, and only then are we placing the order for the customer. So this is going to go through no matter what, but if this fails and we find ourselves in this catch block, we're not doing anything to refund the customer or make sure they weren't charged or anything. So the easiest way to fix this, I think, is to wait to charge the customer until after we've confirmed their order. So why don't we move this line up here so that we'll order the tickets first and then we'll attempt to charge the customer. So let's run our test again and see if this changes the results. Great, so this test is now passing. So let's run the entire feature test and see if anything else is broken. So we'll head back to the test and now I'll run this entire file instead of just that individual test. And now our first test is failing. We're failing to try and purchase tickets to a published concert, and this is happening on line 43. So let's check out that test and see what's going on. So if we head up to line 43 here, we can see that we're asserting that we get back a 201, but we're getting back a 422. And now the reason for this is that we're trying to purchase 3 tickets, but we haven't actually added any tickets to this concert. We wrote this test before we had introduced the idea of having to add tickets to concerts in advance. So I think we can get this test passing by just adding those tickets. So we can say concert, add tickets 3, and run this test again. We'll just run this one test to start with here. And that test is green again. So now this makes me think to go and look at a couple of the other tests here. If we look at this next one, cannot purchase tickets to an unpublished concert, this test is currently passing, right? If we run it, we can see that this test is in fact passing because the request to purchase tickets is not succeeding. But if we look at the test, it's a little bit ambiguous as to why the customer cannot purchase tickets to the concert. Is it because the concert is unpublished, or is it because we haven't actually added any tickets to this concert? So one thing that I would like to do here is add tickets to this concert. So we'll add the 3 tickets that the customer is trying to buy, just so that anyone coming to read this test can see, okay, the tickets are available, they're trying to purchase the right amount of tickets, and they're still getting a 404. So that must be because the concert's unpublished and not for any other reason. So let's run this test again and make sure that it's still good. And it is. So let's take a look and see if there's any other tests we need to be worried about. Okay, an order is not created if payment fails. So again, this is another situation where we're trying to order 3 tickets, but we haven't added 3 tickets to the concert. So let's add the tickets to the concert and find out if this test still passes. So we'll add 3 tickets, run just this one test. Interesting, and now this test is failing. So in the next lesson, we'll look at why this test is failing and work towards getting it to pass.